was saying 125 years ago Swami Vivekananda came here, and that was the start of the Vedanta movement in the West, and we are celebrating it this year, 125 years. Another thing is, this year there is a World Parliament of Religions. Some of you may not be aware that it is an event which is being held regularly now. So the World Parliament of Religions this year is in Toronto, in Canada, in November. And the first Vedanta Society which Swami Vivekananda established was in New York, in Manhattan, in 1894. So it's the New Yorkers who caught him first, after Chicago, and so he went there and started the Vedanta Society there. Today, what I will do is, I'll carry on from the introduction which I gave on Thursday. I gave a talk here about waking, dreaming, being. If you missed that talk, don't worry, but it's related to that, what I'm going to say today. What we will do is, I'll talk for a short while. It's crowded and it's hot, I know, so I'm not going to talk too long. I'll just give the essence of the teaching, and then we will interact. Listen carefully and keep your questions in mind. Don't forget the questions, and we'll take up the questions and interact. Both people outside and the people outside also, if they have questions, somebody can regulate it there. They can come inside and ask the question also. Alright, let me start with a prayer. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityur Ma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness unto light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. The essence of Vedanta is self-knowledge. The claim is, if we know who we are, what we are truly, when we know the secret of this universe, what all this is about, what is the reality about this whole universe, about ourselves, we know that. One. Second, our problems are also solved if we do that. Our suffering, what we are trying to do, attain peace and joy, lasting peace and serenity, overcome suffering, all of that is possible if we realize who we are. Look at the prayer which we just chanted. Lead us from the unreal to the real. What does self-knowledge do? It leads us from the unreal to the real. If we do not know who we are in the unreal. Why? Why would that be so? After all, we know the world. Suppose I don't know who I am. We know the world. So why am I in the unreal? Because it's like this. Think about it for a moment. I am the one who knows the world. You are the one who knows what you experience. Without knowing myself, if I know everything else, isn't there a contradiction, a paradox in that? I mean, a simple thing. If you're a scientist, an engineer, you're using an instrument to measure things in the world outside. And suppose you don't know anything about that instrument. Will any of your measurements be worthwhile? Nothing. You don't know what that instrument is, you don't know what the readings mean, you don't know how it works. So when it takes readings of something in the world outside, the data that you get from it, worthless. Is it real what it's reporting to you? No, because you don't know what it's reporting. Similarly, in that way, exactly the same thing is happening. The world that we experience, you experience in, follow this carefully, the world that you experience in yourself, in your awareness. You will say, what do you mean? There is the world out there, here I am, how am I experiencing the world within myself? But think about what happens when you experience anything. Say the flower in front of you. If you can't see the flower, if you're outside, there are plenty of flowers outside, take a look. something, the flower in front of you. What is happening when you see the flower in front of you? Light is falling on it, the light gets reflected into your eyes, and the flower doesn't enter your eyes. We'd be blind pretty fast if all the things that we see started entering our eyes. All that enters your eyes, you see a universe out there, but all that actually enters your eyes is what? You have some doubts about it? Just light. Just light. The eyes are meant to accept only light. So light enters the eyes and an image is formed. See, already by this time there is no flower there. It's only light. And an image is formed because of the way light is reflected on that flower, and an image is formed in the lens of your eyes. And then what happens? Even that image goes away. It's converted into tiny little electrical impulses. Isn't it so? Any doctor will tell you that. Your optic nerves carry, what do they carry? Do they carry light? Do they carry a flower? No. School biology. They carry electrical impulses, tiny electrical impulses. Neither the flower is there, nor light is there, nor even an image is there. Tiny electrical impulses generated by our nerve cells through neurochemical, some process which I'm not very sure, you know better. And it goes to the brain. And there in the brain somehow, no scientist today has any idea how. No idea. Any scientist will tell you. They will tell you details, more and more details about the brain, about the neuron, about the synapses, about the neurochemicals present there, about the electrical activity going on there. But how that goes to the mind, whatever it is, no idea at all. It goes to the mind. In the mind, it is reconstituted again into the not light, not image, into the very experience of seeing a flower. Is this not what is happening? Yes. No Vedanta here. Every scientist will say, yeah, that's what's happening basically. All that you experience in the world, everything that you, I, anybody has ever experienced in the world, even the grossest materialist has experienced in the world, we have experienced it in our minds. True or not?
Yes.
Even this thing you are experiencing, world, Swami is speaking, I am sitting here, all of this, you are not experiencing directly. It's all being reconstituted somehow in your mind. Is that not so? In you, somehow it is being reconstituted. What is that mind, what is that self which is experiencing it? If you have no idea, what is the meaning of this experience then? What is the guarantee that there is a world outside? Do you see what I'm asking? What is the guarantee there is a world outside? Have you ever seen a world outside? No. Nobody has. All the samsara, we think our great projects, achievements, failures, miseries, anything, religion, material world, spirituality, Vedanta, all of that is in the mind only. It could be out there in the world, could be. But that's a particular philosophical position, you have to argue for that. It's called realism. So, it is in there. One monk in the Himalayas, very interestingly, he said, Shant man mein samsar kaun dekha hai bhala. Very interesting point. What does it mean? He says, whoever has experienced the samsara world in a peaceful mind. What does he mean? We normally think that we experience all the troubles in my mind, all my troubles, I know it's in my mind, but it's because of the world out there. There is a disturbing world, an annoying person, my finances are in terrible shape, and there is traffic holding up my car, the trivial and the enormous. From genocide to say a dog barking too loudly in my neighborhood. From all of this, it's there outside, and that's why I am unhappy. All of this, the world is making me unhappy. This Swami says, exactly the opposite. The problem is not a terrible word making your mind unhappy. It's because it's a terrible mind constructing an unhappy word. If your mind is, we think the word is disturbing my mind, so my mind is disturbed. Rather, the Swami says, it's because your mind is disturbed, that's why you have an unhappy experience of the word. Look at the words. Shant man mein bhala samsar kaun dekha hai. Whoever has seen a samsara in the peaceful, serene mind. When your mind is calm, when your mind is quiet, meditative, inward, serene, without a ripple like a lake in a windless day. When your mind is like that, where is samsara? Where is poor health? Where is poor finances? Where is the annoying person? Where is hatred? Where is disgust? Where? All, you might say, it's all there. It's all there, but it has no effect on you. It's a very beautiful insight. It's not the topic today, but catch this insight. This is the precise nature of the insight. Let me state it and think about it. Our experience of the world depends on the world, no doubt, but depends much more on the quality of our minds. Therefore, when you want to improve your life, when we want to improve the quality of our life, our experiences, first we should pay attention to the quality of our mind. I remember once in India, there's a big company called Tata, and in Jamshedpur. So they invited me to give a talk. They had a quality week. So the week was called Quality Consciousness. So you have to develop consciousness. They wanted the workers and the people to develop consciousness about quality of their products. So I said to them, first of all, before developing a consciousness about the quality of products, you have to develop the quality of the consciousness. The other way around. Yes. So, change in the mind. This self-knowledge. Not even what is the mind also? Who am I with relationship with my mind? Am I the mind itself? So this inquiry, self-knowledge, we just prayed, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness unto light. We are in darkness in what sense? We do not know who or what we truly are. That darkness. What is light? To know what we truly are. That is, lead us from darkness unto light. Lead us from death to immortality. As long as we think and we are firmly convinced, we do not question, I think I am the body. I am firmly convinced I am the body. I do not even question that I am the body. Then I am fully convinced. I will get old, I am getting diseased, I will die. But very interesting. What is the fact? Can you deny this? It is the body which is getting old. It is the body which is getting disease. Can you deny that it is the body which dies? Throughout history, even the rankest materialists, the most expert doctors, the end of life, those who give care, all they have seen till today, I can say with 100% conviction, all they have seen till today is a body dying. Nobody has ever seen the conscious, sentient self dying. Challenge this. If you're going to challenge it, you'll see that there are some assumptions behind your challenging it. That the self is somehow related to the body. When the body dies, there is no self. Already you have assumed that the body and the self are the same. I'm asking you to challenge it on the basis of experience. Has anybody experienced the conscious self dying in that person? I've seen the body dying. There are no more responses. You burn the body or bury the body. What about the person in there? How do I know that person died? You don't know. All religions, I'm not talking about Vedanta only, whether it's Hinduism or Islam or Buddhism or Christianity or Judaism, all religions, Sikhism, Jainism, all religions, they hold this one thing in common, that you don't die with the death of the body. There can be no religion without it actually. From death to immortality, lead us from death to mrityur ma mritam gamaya. So self-knowledge. Vedanta says first you have to know yourself. All of this, from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality, will be achieved if you know what you are. Two great problems to knowing what you are. See, the first two objections which come up, major objections, are these. First is, first objection is, what is the use of this thing? And I told you the use is this. It will take you beyond death. You'll realize your immortal nature. It will take you beyond unhappiness. Dukkha nasha. Amritatva prapti in Sanskrit. The second great obstacle is, the first obstacle is, why should I do it? What's the use? This is the greatest possible use. The goal of your life will be fulfilled. You might say, it's not the goal of my life. My goal of my life is something else. I have to get my degree, I have to pay off my student loans, I have to get married and have a family. But my question is, with doing all of that, degree and paying off the loans and getting a job and a family, what are you trying to achieve in all of that? That's not the goal in itself. So what we are all trying to achieve throughout our lives, that will be achieved if you know yourself. That is the claim. So that's the use, that's the claim, that this is the use of self-knowledge. The second great objection to this is, I already know myself, it has not done me any good. I know I am Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so, and what good has it done me? I'm still that unhappy, miserable person. This is what Vedanta claims, you really don't know who you are. What you know about yourself is either false or it is at best very shallow knowledge. You don't know yourself in depth. So knowing ourselves in depth, that is the goal. One way, many ways are there in different Upanishads. One way was taken up on Thursday, that is the way of waking, dreaming, deep sleep. Point is not to be awake or dreaming or deep sleep. Be awake, of course, right now, because Vedanta will not work unless you are awake. The point is that by investigating our waking experiences, dream experiences and deep sleep experiences, we will realize who we are. Goal, to realize who we are. How will we do it? One way is by investigating our life. One way of investigating our life is, our life has four aspects. The Upanishad said, Soyam Atma Chatushpad, the Atman, yourself, you have four aspects. What are those four aspects? One is waking, second is dreaming, third is deep sleep, and this covers what we know about ourselves. These three are well known. And Upanishad, Vedanta is not trying to teach you anything about waking, dreaming or deep sleep. That's why it's interesting. When we talk about it, people immediately get misled. They will ask that, so what about in between there are some stages, there's coma or there is some kind of mystic experience. Very good, let it be there. We are not interested in that actually. We are interested in the one who is having those experiences, not those experiences. Upanishad tells you something new. It does not repeat what you already know. It uses waking, dreaming, deep sleep to point towards something behind all of them. So waking, dreaming, deep sleep, 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one is what we are trying to reach or understand or realize about ourselves. That there is one consciousness, one awareness. I'm using the words consciousness, awareness, sentience indiscriminately. Why? Because none of them actually quite precisely capture the word chit, chaitanya, the Sanskrit word. Closest that it comes is pure consciousness or pure awareness. But even that has certain connotations. Here it's pure not in the sense of opposite of being impure. Not in that sense. Pure means consciousness minus its objects. That's what pure consciousness means. Not a good consciousness or bad consciousness, not in that sense. So, that's why I'm using consciousness, awareness. It leads to confusion. If you try to fix a precise meaning in English to it, what will happen is, I've seen people who have read Nisarga Datta's books. Remember, he spoke in Marathi and they were translated into English. So he says that, for example, he uses the word, I'm using consciousness for the Atman. He says that consciousness comes to an end when you fall asleep or when you die. So what happened? Isn't Advaita saying that there is a continuous consciousness? He said the awareness continues. Okay, it's a matter of terminology. So don't get stuck up on the terminology. Then what should you follow? What should you hold on to when we do this? Hold on to your experience. The fantastic thing about Advaita Vedanta is it talks about an ever-present experience. You have it right now. You have it right now. You just don't recognize it. You just don't know what it is. It's there all the time. When one becomes enlightened, it's not that one will say, "Oh, now I realized something new. Here is the Atman, Brahman, Mahadeva, Shiva, whatever. I realized my Buddha nature. This is something new." No, what will happen is you will say, "Oh, it was always there. All my life I have been this thing. I didn't know it." There's a nice story about the diamond and the washerman. Sri Ramakrishna tells the story. It's a simple story, but how profound it is that in India there are washermen who takes the clothes and they take it not to a laundry but to the river, and then they will scrub it and beat it. You shouldn't see how they treat your clothes, but they clean it. They make it really clean. I don't think it does much for the life of the clothes, but it's clean, and then the next day they will deliver it back to you. So this poor washerman, he discovered a nice stone. It was shining and something remarkable. He had never seen such a stone. It was a diamond, of course, but he didn't know what a diamond was. He thought, "It's very good. I can use it to scrub clothes." So he started using it to scrub clothes. And it went on. But one day he thought, "It's so strange. I've never seen such a rock. Let me take it to my friend, the vegetable seller." So he is little more educated than me, he knows. So he goes and shows it to the vegetable seller, who says, "Yes, it seems to be valuable, it seems to be nice. You give it to me, I will give you a bag full of potatoes or brinjals," or something like that, he says. Luckily that washerman, he didn't stop there. He went to somebody who was more educated, and finally he goes to this diamond merchant and shows him the diamond merchant says, "Wow, this is amazing. I have never seen such a huge diamond. This is the biggest one I've seen in my career. I'll give you 10 million rupees for it." And the washerman now, all his poverty is at an end, and he is, "Alright, we have that diamond, but we don't know what it is. This awareness, this consciousness we have, we don't know what it is. And so we use it for what? For seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. It's good. That's what it's meant for. For loving, hating. We use it for greed and ambition. We use it for being unhappy. We use it for being depressed. We use it for being suicidal. All the business of our life is being carried on, and this entire business of our life which we are doing is basically using the diamond to scrub clothes. And we go on being poor, not physically, not in terms of money, but in spirit. Unhappy, unfulfilled. Whereas the diamond we have can fulfill everything that we want right now. You need to go to the diamond merchant. He's sitting right there in front of you. So that's why we are here. What Vedanta does is, basically, it doesn't make you Brahman. It does not make you divine. It points out the divinity within us. It shows us what we have already got. So one of the methods is waking, dreaming, deep sleep, and the consciousness which appears as these three. The Mandukya Upanishad, which we spoke about on Thursday, basically it says, one way is this. The same awareness appears as you, the waker, with your mind and your body and experiencing a waking world. The waking world is also that consciousness. Your body and mind are also that consciousness, and you are that consciousness. Basically, you, the consciousness, appear as the waking world, and as the body, and as the waking person experiencing a world. Swami Vivekananda put it this way: one alone exists. It appears as nature. Soul. One alone exists. It appears as nature, soul. That one we are searching for in our own experience. That's the amazing thing about Advaita. The bhakti path, beautiful, powerful, but what it says is believe. The path of love and devotion, faith, you have to start with belief. You have to start questioning, does God exist, and is there Vishnu in Vaikuntha, or Father in heaven, it's there. How do I know? There's no proof of it. Then you cannot go any further. You have to start with faith. Bhakti path demands faith. Ultimately you will realize. Sri Ramakrishna also realizes Mother Kali. Second, the path of yoga, mysticism, meditation, that demands that you get extraordinary experiences. The difference between ordinary experience and extraordinary experience. In Vedanta, what experience is necessary? What you already have. Are you awake? Yes. Do you dream? Yes. Do you sleep? Yes. That is enough for Vedanta, but for yoga that is not enough. In Patanjali Yoga, what is necessary? You have to experience samadhi. Awake? Yes. Dreaming? Yes. Sleeping? Yes. Samadhi? You scratch, for those who are outside, I'm scratching my head. Samadhi? No, not quite. So, yoga, the path of mysticism, demands experience, but extraordinary experience. And then you have to do this sadhana to get that experience. Once you get that experience, religion is real for you. Spirituality becomes real for you. But the beauty of Vedanta is Advaita Vedanta, path of jnana. It does not demand faith. We don't say you have to believe. Some amount of faith is necessary that this guy is not talking nonsense. But that kind of faith we already have. When you enroll for a course in Duke University and go and sit in the physics class and the teacher explains something about thermodynamics and says, do you get it? You're not expected to say, sir, you are great, I just believe you. But you say, it must be true. Because you are great. The teacher is going to tear at his hair and say, no, you must get it. It's not, I'm not asking you to believe me. So it's not a question of faith in that sense. That much faith must be there, of course, that the professor is not telling lies. When you go to a university course, you don't go with that attitude, the professor is a liar and the textbooks are full of misinformation. No. You go with the faith that it is true, I must get it, I must try to understand. Vedanta is exactly like that. It's true. And it's here. And it's you. It's continuously available. We will point it out. I still have not started. I think we are good. Ushadi is getting worried. Still not started?
No, you're fine. You can stay here forever. Yeah. Stay here forever. Yeah.
There is the forever Swami Sarvapriyananda told us a story. Have you heard that one?
No.
He said that once he's the Vice Chancellor of the Vivekananda University. So he went to a Vice Chancellor's conference. Vice Chancellor is like in this country, in university, you have a President of the university. So they are big people. And they like to talk. Because they are Vice Chancellor. You're supposed to listen because I'm the Vice Chancellor of the university. I'm the President of the university. So he went to this conference. And in the conference, one of the Vice Chancellors from England, he said, how long may I speak? And the organizer said that, sir, you are our esteemed guest. You can speak as long as you like, but we will leave at 5:30. So I know the time constraint. Don't worry. I know the time constraint. Don't worry. Yes. So back to this waking, dreaming, deep sleep. We already have that experience. We're not asking you to believe in anything. I'm not asking you to get new experiences. Just what experience you have, let us contemplate that. Just like in our dreams, what happens in your dream? You forget that you are sleeping on the bed, you forget your body of the waking state, then you have a dream world. In that dream world, you are also there, right? You have a body in the dream. And that body and that person in the dream, you localize yourself into one body in the dream. And you see other people and things and places. Yet when you wake up, what do we say when we wake up from a dream? All those places were nothing other than my mind. All those people were nothing other than my mind. Even I in that dream was nothing other than my mind. Why? Because the waking I was always here. I was lying on the bed. I was not that person. It's my mind, one mind, appearing as many. One person appearing as many persons. Not only appearing as many persons, in that dream, among the many, I am one. and the others are also there. But all of them are from this one mind. This is a dream experience. What the Upanishad is claiming is in this waking experience also, not one mind, but one consciousness. Consciousness and mind are different. It is one consciousness in which many minds appear, and bodies, and a world, and we experience it. But that one underlying consciousness is what you are, not that one mind and body. You are that one underlying consciousness, one background awareness in which minds and bodies appear, come and go. That one is the fourth. Some of you maybe, what were the first three again? Waking, you the waker and your waker's world. You the dreamer and your dream world. You the deep sleeper and your deep sleep world. First three. And behind all of them, in and through all of them, is the one consciousness, which is the fourth. The example of the gold and the ornaments is very good. You have three ornaments: a necklace, a bracelet, and a ring. They look different. They look different. Their names are different: necklace, bracelet, ring. The uses are different. One you put around your neck, one you put on your wrist, one you put on your finger. So name is different, the form is different, use is different. In Sanskrit, nama, rupa, vyavahara, different. And yet you know it is the same gold. In fact, it works, the example works even better if you think. Same gold is made into a necklace, melted and made into a bracelet, melted and made into a ring. Then the mind understands it better. Because it's virtually the same gold. If you have three separate ornaments, at least you will say that no, that at least the three pieces of gold are different. But here it is the same, exact same material, which is made into three kinds of ornaments. Now note one thing, that the gold is present when the ornaments are present. Which ornament is the necklace? Only the necklace. You can't call the bracelet a necklace or a ring a necklace. Only the necklace is a necklace, and it's different from others. But which ornament is the gold? Is necklace gold? Yes.
Yes.
Is bracelet gold?
Yes.
Is ring gold?
Yes.
When is gold available? In all three? Right. And is gold limited to being an ornament? See, what I mean by limited is, a necklace is limited to being a necklace. It cannot be a bracelet anyway. If you melt it and make it into a bracelet, necklace is gone. Dead. Finished. Now it's a bracelet. But gold, it continues. Another thing. How many are there? How many are there? Three. Some are saying three, some are saying one. The correct answer is not two. Advaita. Think about it. Think about it. If you count the ornaments, you will get three. You will get necklace, bracelet, ring. Clearly three. If you count it from the point of view of gold, one only. If you look at the whole matter, gold and ornament, you will see not two. These ornaments are not a second reality apart from gold, though they seem to be. They seem to be. Yet they are not a second reality apart from ornament. These are important points. Advaitam. Advaita literally means not two. It seems to be different. It functions differently. It is called something different. Look, it is called necklace, bracelet, ring. It looks different. It is called something different. It is used differently. And yet it is one. Why do you say it's one? Because without gold, none of them will exist. Take the gold away, where is the necklace? Where is the bracelet? Where is the ring? But opposite is not true. When you take the necklace away, is the gold gone? No, it is the ring. When you take the ring away, is the gold gone? No, it is the bracelet. Or it will be a lump of gold, it will be something. It can be a wave, it can be a tsunami wave, it can be a bubble, it can be foam, it can be water vapor, it can be a cloud, it can be rain, but it is water. That one does not go away. That one consciousness, it could be in the waking state as this, it could be in the dream as you experience, or it could be blank, deep sleep. but it is that one unchanging consciousness, not two. The universe is not a second reality apart from that consciousness. The universe has a dependent existence upon that consciousness. This word dependent existence is the closest word to the Sanskrit, the Vedantic mithya. Mithya. Mithya is often translated as false, illusion. Technically, what Vedantins mean by mithya is dependent existence. It has no existence apart from the underlying reality. The ornaments have no existence apart from the underlying gold. The wave has no existence apart from the underlying water. The pot has no existence apart from the underlying clay. These are examples. Now we'll make the startling claim. The universe has no existence apart from the underlying consciousness. No existence apart from underlying consciousness. The term is Jagat Mithya. Now put it together. Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. Consciousness real, the appearance unreal. Unreal in what sense? Dependent on consciousness. And who are you? Real or unreal? Jiva Brahmaiva Napara. The sentient being, the individual being is none other than that real consciousness. You are that consciousness. Still haven't started. Okay, let me start now. Now today's topic is that consciousness. We are going to the heart of the matter itself. What can we say about the reality? We can say a lot about waking, dreaming, deep sleep. But what can we say about that underlying reality which Upanishad talks about? The Atman, Brahman, real self, Buddha nature, whatever you call it. One of the most beautiful passages in the entire Vedantic literature is the 7th mantra of Mandukya Upanishad. 7th mantra of Mandukya Upanishad. If somebody says, tell me a little more about this reality, Brahman, Atman, I can always refer to that one. What is it? That's what we are going to see today. Let me chant the 7th mantra and then we will see. Nanta pragyam na bahish pragyam na ubhayata pragyam na pragyana ghanam na pragyam na pragyam adrishtam abhyavaharyam agrahyam alakshanam adrishtam abhyavaharyam agrahyam alakshanam achintyam abhyapadeshyam ekatma pratyasaram prapanchopashamam shantam shivam advaitam Chaturtham manyante sa atma savidyeyaha. What does it mean? Let's quickly take a look, then I will stop and go into discussions. What am I really? It says you are not the waker, you are not the dreamer. Really, you are not the deep sleeper. Like if you ask, if the ornament asks, what am I really? You are not really a necklace. You are not really a ring. You are not really a bracelet. Like that. Anything in between, coma, samadhi, mystic, drug-induced high, all those are experiences. Those are also not your real identity. So these, or something unconscious then? No, not even that. So this is the first line. What does it do? It denies that you are any of the knowers in the 3 states. There are 3 states, waking, dreaming, deep sleep, and 3 knowers. Waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. The one who experiences the waking, the one and identified with it. I am this person. The one who is sitting here and saying, I am this person sitting here listening to a talk on Vedanta. So that is the knower, the waker. You are not really that also. That's the person. You are not the person. You are the impersonal consciousness behind the person. So that person you are not, the waker. Similarly, you are not the dreamer also. You are not the deep sleeper also. A question is asked in the commentary, the Sanskrit commentary on this written by Shankaracharya. Wait a minute. Before this, when you talked about the waking state, the dream state and the deep sleep state, you straight away describe what is waking state when consciousness is exteriorized, functioning through a mind and sense organs and a body and dealing with a seemingly physical external world. That is waking state. What is dream state? When you withdraw from the external world and the physical body and the sense organs shut down and you generate a virtual reality in your mind. That is a dream state. What is deep sleep? When the mind shuts down, no external world, no internal dream, just quiet, restfulness, consciousness by itself, experiencing a blank mind, a shut down mind, a hibernating mind, deep sleep state. So in each case, waking, dreaming, deep sleep, you directly mention waking state, you describe waking state. Dream state, you describe the dream state. The deep sleep, you describe the deep sleep. Now we are going to talk about the fourth. What are you doing? You should tell us, this is the fourth state. And yet, what are you doing? You start off by saying it's not the waker, not the dreamer, not the deep sleeper. Why are you doing this? Why do you think so? Why do you think? It starts by denying the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. Because there is no other way. Shankaracharya says, Na anya dwaram asti pratipattaye. There is no other door of entry into the fourth except these three. The fourth is not these three, and yet it's the underlying real. There is no other way. You're telling me the reality is gold. Show me gold. Why are you telling me it's not necklace, not bracelet, not? There's no other way to show you. It is the necklace, bracelet and ring, and yet it's not those names and forms. Similarly, that pure consciousness is right here in the waking, in the dream, in the deep sleep, yet it is not waking, dreaming, deep sleeping. That's why it has to start. Do you see the beauty of this approach? This is called neti neti. It has to start by showing you it is here, yet it's not exactly this what you are experiencing. Okay. The second line, first line denies the knower, the experiencer in these three states. The second line denies the known, the experienced objects in these three states. What is that ultimate reality? Is it something that we see? No. Can we hear it? No. Can you smell it, taste it, touch it? No. It's not an object of your sense organs. Is it an object of my motor organs? Can I walk to it? I can go on a pilgrimage to the fourth. Like we go pilgrimage to Kailasha or Banaras or Makkah or Jerusalem. Can I go to the fourth? No. Can I catch hold of it? You keep saying that. Catch hold of the feet of the Lord. Can I catch hold of the feet of the fourth? No feet. So no question of catching hold of it. It is not an object of your motor organs. Can you transact with it? Vyavahara. No. Transact with it means, suppose, can I pray to it? Will it fulfill my desires? No. That's why it is said to be avyavaharyam, literally useless. Pure consciousness in itself is beyond transaction. Brahman is literally useless but be careful, useless in what sense? It is the underlying of all usage. It is that which makes all usage possible in life. In itself, it cannot be brought into our daily transactions. Gold is what makes all ornaments possible. But in itself, gold is not an ornament. Similarly, it is avyavaharyam. Can you think about it? Can you even speak about it? You cannot speak about it. You cannot even think about it. Achintyam, avyapadeshyam. Why can't you speak about it? You are speaking. You're giving long lectures. You are naming it. You're using the word Turiya. You're using the word Brahman. You're using the word Atman. God. So many words you're using. So why are you saying you can't name it? There, for this we have to enter into the philosophy of language a little bit. Bear with me, 5 minutes. But it's very interesting. We keep saying all the time in Vedanta, the ultimate reality is beyond language. But have you asked, why is it beyond language? Then why are you using language at all? Why, first of all, is it beyond language? And there, the analysis is very interesting. I have a full talk on this. Advaita Vedanta and the paradox of language. If you Google it, you will find it on YouTube. It's a full talk. But here I will not give you the full talk. I will give you the, what is it called? Cliff notes or something? College students use it. Short notes, yeah. So, the 5-minute version of it. How can we use language to know why the ultimate reality is beyond language? Let us consider how we use language. where does language apply? Then we will realize where language cannot apply. And in the Vedantic theory of language, it is said that language can apply in these 5 circumstances. Any of these 5 factors are present, language can be used. Which 5 factors? Jati, Guna, Kriya, Sambandha, Rudi. What are they? I'll explain. One is Jati, class. So an object belongs to a certain class of objects. Then you can say, Shankaracharya uses the example cow. So there's a whole class of animals called cows. And so you see one instance and you say, this is a cow. How did you use the word? Because it denotes a class of entities. And this one shares those properties and you say, this is a cow. Class. Can you use word for the ultimate reality in that sense? No. There is no class of absolutes. There is no set of Brahman or the ultimate reality. It's one. How can there be a set? So it does not belong to a class of entities. So you can't use Brahman in that sense. You cannot use a word for that. Second possibility is guna, quality. You say, bring me the red flower. Immediately you understand what I mean, because the quality red denotes that flower. So bring me, say, the orange fruit. So a red flower, an orange fruit, the tall person, the young child, so all of the qualities that we use to designate something and separate it from others, you can use quality. But you can immediately, that you cannot use that for Brahman. Why? Nirgunam. Brahman is beyond attributes. There's a logic to this. Why this pure consciousness is beyond attributes, but I'm not going into it. Because it has no qualities, no attributes, no adjectives can be applied to it. You cannot use guna. Third, another possibility is activity, action, kriya. That car is not parked properly. Call the driver of that car. How did you designate that person? Driver. This dish was so nicely cooked. Who is the cook of this dish? How did you use language? By action, cooking, driving, things so on like that. It can be used for a wide range of things in this world. Brahman, can you use it for Brahman? No, because Brahman is beyond action, nishkriyam. You cannot. What is the other possibility? Sambandha, relation, teacher, father. But a father is a father only because he has son and daughter. Sambandha, relation, it's said, it depends on at least two terms. 2 or more terms are necessary for sambandha, for relation. Dvinishtha sambandha. Relationship depends on 2 or more terms. Correct? Can you use it for Brahman? No, because it is non-dual, not 2. There is no second thing apart from Brahman. Only one remaining possibility. We have already eliminated Jati, Guna, Kriya, Sambandha. 4. The last possibility is convention, Rudi, convention. We often use this for language. What do we say? We simply say, this baby girl is Mary. This baby boy is Ram. You name the dog. You call the dog, say, whatever you give the name to the dog.
Lassie.
For,
Lassie.
Lassie. You call the name. Why? Because of any class or quality or... No, it's just that I call it. That's the name. From now on, this dog will be called this person will be called this, baby will be called this name. No particular reason. Just we name it. So can't we do that for Brahman? Let's name it Brahman XYZ. That will also not work. Why? Because when you name somebody or something, you must point it out. If I say, his name is Ram, what will you ask me? Whose name? Who are you talking about? And I say, I can't point out. Then the naming work? Did you understand who I meant? No, you did not. Exactly like that. If I say Turiya, Atman, Brahman, do you know what I mean? You don't know. Can you point it out? No. Then this word is not working. Turiya, Atma, Brahman is not actually designating and pointing out what I mean. So language cannot be used in the absence of any of these 5. All of these 5 factors are absent. Any one of them is a sufficient condition for using language. All 5 are absent. You can't use language. Avyapadeshyam, unnameable. All of this which I said, I did it in 5 minutes. All of this which I said, Shankaracharya says it in half a sentence. Shabda pravritti nimitta rahitatvat abhyapadeshyam. The ultimate reality is unnameable because of the absence of the actuating factors for the use of language. Words, Shabda.
Real talented way of explaining.
No, because Sanskrit is so powerful that way. You can express a lot of philosophy in one little word or a few phrases. See, language is developed that way. We all have heard that the language is spoken by the Eskimo people in Greenland. They seem to have 21 or 22 words for snow. Because it's something that they deal with all day long, all life long. So they have all kinds of varieties for it. I don't know how true it is, but it is understandable that if you deal with something all the time, your language will develop the nuances for it. So many of the concepts which are very powerfully, directly and precisely expressed by Sanskrit, you have to struggle to put it in other languages. But sometimes it's very powerful if you put it in English. Why? Because you have to struggle to translate it into English, you have to understand it yourself. I remember a very difficult Advaitic text. We had a Bengali translation by a great scholar in India, and a translation made by a professor of philosophy. Now I hear she is in Yale, Phyllis Granoff. And I showed it to my teacher, Vedanta teacher, and said, which is better, the translation? And he had to admit the translation made by the professor here in Yale, as actually she was in another university at that time. He said, my teacher told me, Swami, that she has done a better job because the Pandit who has translated from Sanskrit to Bengali has often used the same words because they are available in Bengali. So or similar words. So you really don't get that much of an improvement when you translate from Sanskrit into an Indian language. You translate from Sanskrit into English. You have to work much harder at it. Alright. Because of this Abhyapadeshyam, it cannot be named. Then can you say anything positive about it? Yes. Ekatma Pratyasaram. It is the nature of the I consciousness which you have. The feeling of I, if you trace it. Do you remember the story of King Janaka? No? I told it on Thursday, I won't repeat it now because I have exceeded my time. That King Janaka, Emperor Janaka, that I consciousness which saw that in the dream it was different, in the waking it was different, but one unchanging awareness which saw the dream and the waking, that is one constant thing. What is the nature of this I? If you investigate deeply into this, you will come to that background awareness. There is one, it's not entirely unknown or unknowable. It is you, and you can realize yourself as that immortal awareness by following your I consciousness. How do we do that? How do we do that? We will see in the Q&A a little bit if you can ask the right questions. Otherwise, come tomorrow. Tomorrow, the whole subject, I will spend a lot of time only on one point. How do we use this I consciousness? And we will investigate, we'll actually do it tomorrow to trace it back to the background awareness. I can't promise enlightenment, but we can try. Alright. Now, that is Ekatma Pratyasara, and the rest of it I will quickly touch upon. Prapanchopashamam. You, the real consciousness, silence of the universe. This samsara is not there. In the gold there is no necklace, bracelet or ring. In you, the pure consciousness, there is no world or universe. Right now, you are it. Think about it this way. I'm giving you 3 stages. What is the relationship between you, the consciousness, and the world? The world seems to be something which appears to or happens to consciousness. Stage 1. You understand what I meant? You are a conscious being, and the world is something that seems to be appearing to you, happening to you, good or bad. Right? Deeper. Is it happening to you or is it happening in you, the awareness? Second one, think deeply about it. You will go to the second deep stage, that the world is something that's happening in me, the awareness. third stage, which is what Advaita wants to talk about, wants to point out. Not to you, not in you the awareness. It is you the awareness. Not to awareness, not in awareness, but as awareness itself. Everything you see, everybody you see, every event of your life is nothing but you the awareness. Prapanchopashamam. There is no other universe apart from you. Silence of the universe. Even while living here in this universe. That's the magnificent thing. Not only in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Here, now. Next. Prapanchopashamam. Shantam. It is the cessation of all sorrows. You, the reality, is cessation of all sorrows. Shivam. It is bliss itself. Advaitam. You know now? Not two. Is the universe a second thing apart from you? Is the body, mind, everything here, are the second things apart from you? Is the ornament a second reality apart from gold? No. Advaitam. Chaturtham manyante. It is said to be the fourth. Isn't it contradictory? You just said there is not two. If there is not two, how can there be three and how can there be four? It's said to be the. It is said to be the fourth, or thought to be the fourth. Manyante means they think that it is the fourth. Ke manyante, who think? Fools think that it is the fourth. Ajnaha, the ignorant ones, the enlightened, not you. Now you know. I've let you into the secret. You know it is not the fourth. It is the one, it is the not two. One without a second. In Sanskrit, ekam eva dvitiyam. One only without a second. Okay, what is it to me? It is you we are talking about. Sa Atma. It is the self. Let the self be. It's good for the self, but for me, the self is not like your kidney or liver. It is you yourself. We are talking all this time about you. Sa Atma. What is to be done? Sa Vidyaha. It has to be realized. What do you mean realize exactly? You have to realize it as, confirm it, be convinced about it, see it, that I am that, not this. You are firmly convinced that you are a necklace. You have to realize that let the necklace form be there, name be there, use be there, but you have to be firmly convinced you are the gold. You have to see it that way. Not brainwash yourself into seeing it. Isn't it the truth that it is gold?
Yes.
Exactly like that. You are one with what is called God in religion. You are that. I will end with a dramatic statement and stop there. What Vedanta wants to tell you, the Mahavakya, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, or in this Upanishad, I am Atma Brahma, this very self is the absolute. We often do not realize the awesome, dramatic claim that is made here. Normally it is translated as I am Brahman. Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham. I am Shiva. Good. That's the meaning. But the reverse is also true. The meaning of that, the statement is actually, when you say Aham Brahmasmi or Shivoham, what it means is not only that I am Brahman, but Brahman is me. Brahman is I. Shiva is I. What does that mean? When I say I am Shiva, I am Brahman, it means I am not body. It means I am not the mind. Though the body and mind are appearing, but I am not those things intrinsically. I am not this little samsari jiva. Who am I? I am Shivoham. Aham Brahmasmi. This is one side of it. The other side of the coin, Brahman is none other than I. Shiva is none other than I. One Swami put it this way. Other than the real you, there is no Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Shiva, Durga, Kali, God, Allah, nothing other than the real you. In Bengali, one Swami, Swami Vivekananda, he said, and the Swami whom he said it to, he told me. That one day I was bowing down to Swami Vivekananda, who was a disciple of the Holy Mother and who was regarded as a Brahmagyan in his own lifetime. They all were inspired. Swami Swahananda ji,
Go forward.
Go Forward, that book. Swami Vivekananda, he was regarded as a Brahmagyani, an enlightened person in his lifetime. So when this young man who later became a monk and who told me himself, he said, I bowed down to the Swami and I looked up and the Swami touched me like this here, just like this. And I jerked my head back in surprise. And he said, there, That one. That consciousness. Other than that, there is no rascal called God. In Bengali he said, Oi, oi, oi je chomke utlo, o chhada kono shala bhagavan nei. But it has to be understood very carefully, otherwise it will lead to blasphemy. What consciousness is talking? Not about that young college boy. That one awareness which is now appearing in that body and mind as that college boy, here in this body and mind as Swami Vivekananda, there as Ramakrishna, there as Holy Mother, as Durga, Kali, Vishnu, Father in heaven, all of that. It's all appearances in that one awareness which you are. Okay. Let me do a peace chant and then we will go into Q&A. You will raise your hand, I will point to you. We will not do that microphone thing. I can hear you, I will repeat your questions so that everybody can hear and I will try to answer the questions. First a peace chant. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Very good. Raise your hands, we'll see. Okay, so many. Let me go from, I'll go from this side and go there and come back again. Alright, the gentleman there will come to you.
B.K. Agarwal,
Yes.
I want to know where is this mind? You keep talking, you saw the flower, image was formed on the retina, converted into electrical impulses, went to the occipital lobe of the brain, and then where that mind is, interpreted that as a flower. I think the occipital lobe of the brain has, a rough example, a software implanted on it. Whenever you see the flower, there is image of the flower stored into the occipital lobe. So next time when you see flower, the occipital lobe of the brain recalls that and recognizes this is a flower. If you have never seen a flower, your brain will not be able to interpret that as a flower. So tell me, where is this mind, location-wise, in the human body? Where it is?
So the question here is, where is the mind in the human body? Because the eyes and the body and the brain are located. You can see where it is. But this mind, where in the human mind, in the body is this mind located? Now, I want to stress upon you this point. In Vedanta, I am asking you to be true to your experience. Why are you even asking that the mind is located in the human body?
I don't know. Then tell me where it is.
No, I'm again asking you, why are you asking that the mind is located in the human body? You have already presumed that the mind is located in the human body. But what is your experience telling you? How are you experiencing? Are you experiencing that I am a body and I am experiencing a mind? Or are you experiencing, I am a mind experiencing a body?
First of all, I don't know where the mind is.
No, again you are, no. Set that aside, listen to me.
Okay.
I listened to your question, but now you must listen to the answer.
Okay.
I am asking you to look at your own experience now, right now. Let's make this very simple. Hold your hand in front of your eyes. Hold your hand in front of your eyes. This experience, you are having an experience, seeing the eyes, seeing the hand.
Yes.
Are you feeling that the hand is seeing you or you are seeing the hand? Tell me. We are seeing the hand. Tell me.
I think, again, it's very difficult to describe when my eyes are looking at something.
Right.
And my eyes, whatever I'm looking at forms an image on my retina.
Wait. Image on retina, eyes, all of that, you are reciting from science textbook.
Exactly.
But I am asking you to recite from your experience just now. You are a conscious being, right?
Yes, I think so.
You think so? Why? Because I am aware, I am conscious. Is it because I read in class 6 that I am a conscious being in a textbook? Or is it because it's my experience right now? Without reading any science, even without all of that conditioning, will you be able to report that you are aware right now? Or will you say, I think so? You don't know? You don't even know whether you are aware or not?
I am aware of. I am aware.
That you are, okay, let's start with that. You are aware, right? What are you aware of? Tell me one or two things you are aware of.
My surroundings, the Swamiji.
Your surrounding, the Swami, body.
Yes.
So you are aware of the body. Look at what you just said. Let's be on solid ground here. You are aware of the body. You did not say the body is aware of me. That would be a strange thing to say. Clearly we would say, I am aware of the body. It is my experience. Why did you say that? It is my experience. I am aware of the body. Here, I am aware of the hand. Whether it is stored in the memory and I am recognizing that and the English word hand, all of that comes much later. What I am trying to do is why Advaita is powerful but also a little difficult. We have become complicated. It's not that Advaita is complicated. We are a mixture, a mess, I would say, of what we have read and what we are experiencing. We have mixed it up nicely. There is a Hindi word for it, khichdi. So I am aware of my body. This is a direct report of your awareness right now. Whether you read science or not, anybody in the world will say, yes, I am aware of the body. You did not say, body is aware of me. Whatever I am, that one is aware of the body. So if you call that one the mind, then it is the mind which is aware of the body. Body is not aware of the mind. Does it seem to be close to your experience? Your experience, not what you have read.
I mean, reading is also an experience. I mean,
Alright, it's an experience, but reading is not telling you what you are. You are experiencing the reading. Yes. Of course, reading is an experience. You experience the book. The book doesn't experience you. What are you? That mind. I am not trying to say anything crazy. Yes, there is a brain. In the brain, the mind must be located somehow in the brain. If you ask a doctor this question, what will the doctor say? Yes, your mind is located in the brain. Straight answer. Your mind is located in the brain. Why? Because all our observations seem to say that the mind, whatever it is, it operates in the brain only. Then you will use words like it is software or something like that. How it functions, nobody knows. Nobody knows really. Every observation stops at the neurons and their activity. Nothing else beyond that. Can anybody tell me anything else beyond that? Nothing. Nothing. So, your answer to your question is, yes, the mind seems to be located and functions through the brain and nervous system. But remember, from your experience point of view, the mind is prior to the brain and nervous system. Look at the words I used, in your experience. Because it is the mind which seems to experience the body. If you get a scan of your brain right now, fMRI scan, that will appear to whom? To the mind. You through the mind will experience the scan of your brain. You will never report, I the brain am experiencing the mind. You will always say, I the mind am experiencing the brain. So in the Vedantic point of view, the brain and nervous system is an instrument through which the mind functions. It is not that the brain produces the mind. Why we say the brain produces the mind in modern neurosciences? First of all, our paradigm is a materialistic paradigm. So somehow we have to reduce the mind and consciousness to brain. Otherwise science breaks down. I have talked to scientists. I said, why will you not accept a hard problem of consciousness? They deny that there is such a thing. Why? And the answer was very interesting. And there was a discussion in Manhattan, 72 people packed into a room like this, without air conditioning. and it was summer. It was summer. So a really hot discussion in both senses of the word. And then we asked the professor, who is the head of philosophy in CUNY, He's a scientist, biologist and a philosopher. Why will you not accept the possibility that consciousness is something other than brain? Operates through the brain but other than brain. This is the reason I will not accept it is because if I accept that, my entire worldview constructed by this physics we have right now, I have to change it. Most people in the room were, yeah, so you change it. No, I'm not willing to abandon that.
No, not just physics, I don't think. Actually, the entire basis for the religion in Western Hemisphere, I think, it's blow to the foundation.
No, not really. In fact, I will say, okay, so this is the answer to your question. First, simple answer to your question is where is the location of the mind? Straightforward answer, it is somewhere seems to be in the brain and nervous system. But Vedanta will say it's not produced by the brain and nervous system, acts through the brain and nervous system. A good example is, all of you came through the door. Now if I am a reductionist, I will say door reductionist. I will say the door produced all these people. Why? Because before the door was opened, none of them were here. And not only that, when they all disappear, they will be absorbed into the door. So door is the source of all these people. They come from the door and they disappear back into the door. Replace door with matter. So you, the persons, definitely you are appearing and interacting through material bodies. But are you a product of this material body? Vedanta will say no. In fact, all Indian philosophy will say no, except the Charvakas. One step forward, even these material bodies and minds are nothing but awareness. Just like in your dream. In your dream, all material bodies and minds and the universe you experience, ultimately when you wake up, what do you say? Oh, I imagined it all in my mind. So the reality of all of those was mind. Stop. Now, no, lady made a comment. I'll answer her comment. Will it be a body blow to religions in the Western Hemisphere? No. It seems to be so. Advaita, not only Western Hemisphere, traditional religion. See, the Dvaita Vedantins in India, for example, they are deadly enemies of Advaita Vedanta. Why? Because if you take up the Advaitic approach, it seems to put you as pure consciousness higher than God. So, the dualists have a great objection to it. They say that this is atheism, Gnostic. Are these non-dualists? There was a time when Shankara propounded this. The great challenge came from Madhva, Ramanuja, a few hundred years after Shankara. So the basic idea was, you fellows, you are talking about, I am that pure consciousness. Are these people religious at all? Are you religious at all? Do you believe in God? Do you pray? Do you go to a temple? Do you take a dip in the sacred river? Do you perform rituals? And the answer from Shankara and the Advaitins was, yes Baba, we do all that, don't worry. All of that is possible. Two levels of reality Shankara speaks about. The absolute level and the transactional level. See, gold is not an ornament. It's not a necklace or a ring or a bracelet. Which means, so then that means gold you cannot wear on your neck or your wrist or your ring or your finger. Of course you can. When it is made into that form, you can use it in that way. So definitely all usage is possible. In Sanskrit it's called Vyavaharika, transactional reality. In transactional reality, Advaita supports and holds up. This is an answer to your question. Supports and holds up conventional religion. It is not against conventional religion. Do I bow down to God in the temple? Of course I do. Do I call myself a non-dualist? Yes, of course. Was Shankara not a non-dualist? Who is a greater non-dualist than Shankaracharya? Who is a greater non-dualist than Vivekananda, than Ramana Maharshi? Do they not bow down before Ramana Maharshi worshipped Arunachala Shiva? Vivekananda was not only great Jnani but also great devotee. Shankara composed the most beautiful hymns on Shiva, on Narayana, on Krishna, on Devi, on Ganga. Such beautiful, Ganapati, such beautiful hymns to different forms of gods and goddesses found in Hinduism. So the correct view of Advaita, mature view of Advaita is that it does not threaten religion. It provides the basis for religion. For me, because it roots religion in my lived experience. That's why I can believe in religion. Suppose you take the Advaitic basis away, then religion becomes faith. That's the word for religion in these countries, faith. Now, you will note that in these countries, in the West, religion is under attack from atheists, Christopher Hitchens, Richard Dawkins and others. Why? Because if you believe something on faith, the moment it is attacked by reason, it becomes weak. What is the foundation of religion? I believe it. Then an atheist will come and say, you believe this thing, the other church believes something else, the Muslim believes something else, and the atheist believes nothing at all. Why should I say your thing is true? Science is true because it is proved by observation, it is common knowledge, it experimentation, procedure is there. Come and verify. You will see. To which Vivekananda came from India and he said, come and verify, you will see. Here is Patanjali Yoga. Sit in this way, breathe in this way, concentrate in this way, you will get direct experience of what we are talking about. Religion is realization, it is not faith. Faith is a good beginning. Now, what I am saying is, this is not threatening to the religions here in the West. Only in an immature way they will find it threatening. Just as in an immature way in India also, conventional religions will find Advaita threatening. Rather, Advaita provides the foundation for the continuity and survival of religion. But for that, of course, you have to accept Advaita. You have to understand.
But the consciousness, yesterday when you said consciousness created matter, that's the one...
The worldview of theistic religions, yes.
Right, but in the West, consciousness, and there is a huge distance between consciousness and the matter, the world. And so...
By West, suppose you say the Christian worldview, or in the Middle Eastern, the Judaic or Islamic worldview. There, God created the universe. I am translating it into for our present discourse as what is the relationship? I am making it not a theological question, but a philosophical question. What's the relationship between consciousness and matter? God created the universe. Now, you say the same sentence in the terms of consciousness and matter, what will you say? What will you say? I am giving a sentence, please translate. God created universe. Instead of God, put consciousness, instead of universe, put matter. What will be the sentence?
Consciousness created matter.
That's what I mean.
But when it is creation, there is a...
There's a gap, yes.
Yeah,
So the idea of creation in this, in the Abrahamic religions is creator and created are two different realities.
True, and what I am saying is because of that, in the West, science, no matter how far they delve into, they'll stop at matter level.
Matter, energy, time, space at that level, yes. Correct. So what is your question?
So, so the idea of mind beyond matter, they will not go.
All right. So that's your problem. Will science will go there or not? Let's see.
To me, they will not.
Let's see, because right now there is an opening. There was Google it, hard problem of consciousness.
Swamiji, can you repeat the question for people in...
Right. So the question is, in science today, ultimately you have to stop with matter and energy. So this idea of what I was just saying, there is a mind beyond matter, that is not acceptable, or they cannot reach that. That is true, because you have already made a paradigm, an axiom, that matter is fundamental. Right.
Yeah.
You have made an axiom, that's why you cannot reach. But even that axiom, it's now breaking down. Why is it breaking down? Because you cannot explain mind. That axiom is all powerful. Why science is so confident? Modern science is confident because it can explain everything rationally on the basis of experimentation, observation. I can explain everything. You say no, you cannot explain life. I can explain life with evolution, now more or less. So everything in this universe I am able to explain now. Suddenly I have come across something which I am unable to explain. What is that? Mind and consciousness. What I am trying to do in science now, right, if you look at the various whole spectrum of theories available in consciousness studies today, they range from incredible theory is that there is no consciousness. How they have such blatant courage? If somebody can deny that there is no black hole, fine, we have to believe, because I have no direct experience. All of us have direct experience of mind and consciousness. And here comes the scientist say that, no, you have no mind. There is no consciousness. You are a zombie. Why? Because it preserves my materialistic point of view. Brain, that is all. Then they will have to explain how all these experiences we have are generated by the brain. That is what they are trying to do, and failing. Not that there is some success and slowly they will be able to explain. There is no success at all. There is in fact no way of trying to explain at all. That is something that they don't realize. They think that they have some access to it by trying to use, for example, the latest, most advanced kind of thinking is by Tononi. He is a researcher in Europe. He is one of the leading theorists in consciousness studies. And they think that he is coming close to it. I have listened a little bit to his talks, and his books are there. No way! He doesn't realize it. It's still materialism. It's still an object. Information theory will give you some way how the brain functions, even how the mind functions. But what is consciousness? It does not give you any clue to it at all. Okay, we'll stop there. Yeah.
When you spoke about absolute and transactional,
Yes.
there's also a third aspect, which Einstein pointed out, called relativity. So, if there's no point in talking about it, what's the point of talking?
If there's no point in talking about it, what's the point of talking? There is all the point in talking about it. Yes. Because, after all, what is the point of all of this? We are in suffering, we are not fulfilled. At the very least, even if I don't have any expressed suffering, we don't find fulfillment. We don't find full satisfaction. And here is a claim that if you know yourself as you truly are, and that consciousness, then you will find fulfillment. Only thing is, you will not know yourself as that consciousness as an object, like I know this microphone. You will know it as yourself. Now what is the point of talking about all of this? We have convinced ourselves, we have talked ourselves into believing that we are not that pure consciousness. The only way out is to talk ourselves out of that. So all sadhana, investigation, vichara, viveka, spiritual practices, they are not pointless. They are all made to discover what you already are. You can discover it. When you say it is not unknowable, that reality is not unknowable. It's not knowable as an object, but it is certainly knowable as your own self, which it always is. You are that. There is a saying, Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati. The knower of Brahman becomes Brahman or is Brahman. So you don't know it as an object, but you know it as your own reality.
There was once a man who said, a person who thinks he knows Brahman does not know Brahman.
Yes.
If you don't know Brahman, you know Brahman.
That is a quotation, not a man who said that. It's a quotation from the Kena Upanishad. The exact quotation is this. Avijñātam vijānatam vijñātam avijānatam yasya matam tasya matam matam yasya na vedasa avijñātam vijānatam vijñātam avijānatam. The one who says that it can be known, or it is known, or I know it, does not know. The one who says it cannot be known, or it is not knowable as an object, that one knows it. It is unknown to the one who says I know it, it is known to the one who says I do not know it. Be careful there. What does it mean? Remember, these are the highest statements. They are put in the language of paradox. What it means is, who is it talking about? It is talking about the inquirer. A pretty advanced inquirer like us at this stage. It's not talking about the guy on the street. You go and ask, do you know Brahman? No. What's that? What's Brahman? Ah, you are the knower of Brahman. I bow down. No, it doesn't talk about that. It talks about the person who has seriously studied and listened to these talks and is thinking carefully. This person is now told, you cannot know it as an object. You cannot say, oh, I realize now. Just as I know the body, I know the mind, I know Brahman, the pure consciousness. No, it doesn't work that way. If you realize Brahman as your own self, not an object to be known, then you have realized Brahman. The one who says, I am the knower of Brahman, that one does not know Brahman. There's a story about Nisargadatta which I like very much. Somebody praised Nisargadatta. Oh, you are a knower of Brahman. That's the highest praise you can give in Indian culture, Brahmagyani. And Nisargadatta was furious. He was a rough man. I actually met a man in Hollywood, Radhakrishnan, who has met Nisargadatta. We went there, and his impression was he's a very rough man. He was a fierce teacher. The moment this person said, "You are a knower of Brahman, you holy sir, you are a knower of Brahman," and Nisargadatta turned upon him and he said, "No, you are insulting me." How is that an insult? That's the greatest praise. He said, "I am not a knower of Brahman, I am Brahman." That is the correct way of putting it. Okay, the lady here. Do you remember your question? I've forgotten.
I do remember, but I'll give some other people.
I have a question.
I'll come to you. Yes.
Yeah. So Swamiji, my question is, like you put it so clearly that as we cannot see gold unless it is in some form, so we cannot separate Brahman from what we experience. Like let's say whether we are dreaming, we are waking, or we are in deep sleep.
Yes.
So it is something that comes into our understanding and it sits in, and then it just becomes the fact. So what is the difference between this understanding that stays forever and the experience or the realization that you say? And I ask this to you because you have been a student and then you have been saying this. You have realized. So what is the difference when you heard it, you studied it, you understood it, and the point when you realized it?
I never claimed that I realized it. Anyway. Alright, but let me answer your question. The question was, you just said that gold is the reality of the ornaments, but whenever we experience gold, we see it in the form of some ornament, right? So Brahman also comes to our experience in all these names and forms. We cannot separate it. Huh? This is what you're trying to say? We cannot separate it. So this is a kind of understanding. What's the difference between this understanding and the realization of Brahman? Alright, it's a very subtle and a good question. Let me try to understand it and explain it in a little bit and let it go at that time. Remember, you can take the example of gold and ornament. Can you separate the gold and the ornament physically? You can only separate it in your understanding. If I say this one is made of brass, here is a flower. It's a flower stand. Candle stand. It's a candlestick made of brass, suppose. So the candle stand and the brass, can you separate it? Can you see it as a candle stand now?
Yes.
Can you see it as brass now?
Yes.
Yes, correct? So what change was there? When I asked you to see it as a candle stand, you said, yeah, okay, I understand what you mean. When I asked you to see that this is brass, you say, yeah, I understand what you mean. The difference was only in your mind, in your understanding. The object is the same out there. So in the same way, the enlightened person, does that enlightened person see this world, or does it disappear in a puff of smoke or light when one becomes enlightened? This person sees the world. How do you know? Look at the lives of the enlightened persons. Ramakrishna or Sarada or Vivekananda. In Holy Mother's life, you see, she talks to people, feeds people, washes the house, does every kind of activity. Clearly she is experiencing a world. Clearly Sri Ramakrishna is experiencing a world. Vivekananda is experiencing a world, is it not? If you did not experience a world, how would you function at all? So you experience a world. Even when knowing that it is made of brass, you can put a candle here and you can experience it that way. So it's a knowledge. In your understanding, you know that it is Brahman. And it's very clear. See, when I say this world is Brahman, for you it is a concept. And you can sort of understand what he is talking about. When I say this brass, is brass a concept? Is it a concept? You're not very clear about it. What is more real, the brass or the candlestick? After listening to Vedanta, you must not say both.
Only brass. Brass is real.
Brass is the only thing that is real. How do you know? Because if I take the brass away, what will be left of the candlestick? Nothing. Nothing.
As soon as I melt it, it is something else. Only brass is there.
Only brass is there. And if you don't melt it?
Still brass is there.
If you don't melt it?
Still brass is there.
Right now? Candlestick? It's only brass. You weigh it now, it's the weight of the brass. You're holding it, I'm touching what?
Brass.
then what is the candlestick?
It's a form.
It's a form. It's a form. Namarupa, it's a name. But then let me ask, what is a form? What's the essence of a form?
The body.
This body is of brass.
Maya.
It is Maya, that means a form has no substance apart from the reality.
But we
So what's
cannot
the point of
separate
Maya?
Maya, so there itself a division comes up, right?
The moment you are experiencing, you experience through Maya.
So is Advaita something that cannot be experienced because once it
Wait. Let me ask you, she's asking, very good question. That is Advaita something that cannot be experienced? Is brass something that cannot be experienced?
But brass is different from me. I am seeing that. So I am
Correct,
understanding.
you're right. But just a minute, let me answer this question. Is brass something that cannot be experienced?
It can be. to
Is
the
it hidden by something called a candlestick?
No.
No.
No. Suppose somebody says, what brass? It's a candlestick. Then you have to explain carefully what is meant by brass, the reality of this thing. After that, what will happen? When the person looks at the candlestick, will say, it is brass basically. What is my eye? What are my eyes contacting? What are my hands holding? Brass. The candlestick is a name and a form and a use. Nama Rupa Vyavahara. That continues. After realizing that it is brass, will you not be able to use it as a candlestick? Of course you can use it as a candlestick, no problem. The world continues. But the reality of the brass, I understand your question, I am coming to that. First of all, understand that the reality of the brass can be appreciated. Brass, I want to make it clear, brass is not a concept. Brass is not a concept. Brass is the reality. It is the weight of this, the heft of it, all of it is brass. What is rather a concept is a candlestick, a form, a use and a name. They are conceptual compared to the brass. They are more conceptual compared to the brass. Now, for the enlightened person who realizes this universe as Brahman, universe is more of a conception. Brahman is the reality. In Aparoksha Anubhuti it says upon enlightenment, what happens? When the enlightened being looks at the universe, the words are so powerful. Bhasuram, Brahman blazes forth everywhere. The brass is blazing forth at you. Every bit of it is brass. And Wittgenstein, the great professor, German philosopher in England, in Cambridge. Once he was writing and then word and reality. Piece of chalk. He threw it, he put it up in front of him and asked the student, what is this? Chalk, sir. And he threw it at that student, it hit the student. Chalk is a word. What hit you, is that a word? No. Words, nama. Forms, rupa. And use, vyavahara. These are so powerful, they are maya. They seem to cover the reality. But the reality is ever blazing forth. Like the brass is blazing forth here. For the enlightened person, for us who are inquiring, it seems to be a possibility. It seems to be an understanding. But is it the reality? For the enlightened person, it is the only reality. What you call the world is a shadow for them. Nisargadatta was once asked, an enlightened person always experiences, your word, experiences Brahman? He said, yes. How? Is it like some kind of a shadow or some kind of like a light or something like that? And there is a word and something abstract, something vague. And Nisargadatta answered, no. At that time, he was in Mumbai. At that time, sometimes in the sky you see sun at one side and moon at the other side.
Happy
Yeah, it is today. Yes, that's a good Advaitic day. Nisargadatta says it is exactly like that. Look, the sun is ever blazing forth. The moon is faint. Similarly, here for me, Brahman is ever blazing forth. What you call the world and universe is like the faint moon for me. I have to make an effort to concentrate. Sri Ramakrishna had to make an effort to concentrate on this, because this is for them. It's a game that you have to play, make believe. Otherwise, the reality is always Brahman. You are Brahman, and it is Brahman.
But that Brahman which is with me is also in the universe.
Not only
Is
with
that
you.
a gravitational force? Or
No.
what is it?
All right. Question.
Swamiji, now what you said is, so once the, so you are saying that, say Nisargata or Ramakrishna, if he is saying that, or if they are even experiencing, then there is the experiencer and there is the experience. The experienced, they are saying Brahman, and the experiencer is Brahman. So why the two words? Then it's Dvaita.
Right.
As simple. Because experience is, then the experiencer is, and the experienced is. So when it is, so it is never possible to say that I am Brahman.
Yes.
Because once I am Brahman, then I am there and Brahma is there. So when that is not, then there is no experiencer and no experience. So who is reporting it? There is no one reporting it. So that creates the illusion that, okay, it is moving as if I am Brahman and this is all again Brahman. But if all of it is the same,
yes,
then there is no point in even explaining that or telling that, okay, this is all even Brahman and I am experiencing it. So when we say that the brass, it can be melted and it can be shown that it is brass, it is okay. But once the experiencer is melted, there is no one to say.
Why will the experiencer be melted?
No, because not melted. But
Think about
once
it
the
carefully.
experiencer is there, the experience is there. So Dvaita is always. Advaita is not even, is just a concept for the Dvaita, and it is not recognizable by the Dvaita.
Alright. His question is that Advaita is just a concept for Dvaita and it is not even recognizable or experienceable in any way. Let me ask you again. What is this? Is this what I am holding? Is it brass or not?
Yes, it is brass.
Right. Is it brass now or is it brass after it is melted?
No, it is brass now only.
It is brass now, right? What my claim is, it is Advaita now. It is brass now appearing as a candlestick.
Yes.
It is Advaita now appearing as Dvaita.
But yes, but that is what is the experiencer and telling about the experience, isn't it?
The experiencer is talking about the experience.
Experience.
This is a Dvaita concept. Yes,
Yes.
a Dvaita experience. Correct.
So
Yes.
that is that which we are talking about. That is the concept of Advaita,
Yes.
which can never be experienced by the experiencer, because once it is experienced, it is Dvaita.
Once you are, let me ask you again. Once you experience the candlestick,
But that
is it candlestick or brass?
it is brass, no doubt.
It is brass. Even when you experience it as a candlestick.
but-
Why? Why? How can the same thing be candle? I'm actually answering your question. How can the same thing be candlestick and brass at the same time? How?
Because it is, first of all, it is the form which we are calling, giving a name as candlestick.
Okay. So the reality is brass.
Yes.
The substance is brass. The form and the name and the use is what you call candlestick.
Yes. But if
Alright.
I am brass,
Wait.
then how will I say that that is brass and this is?
Wait. You're confusing the. Now you are not brass.
I'm just telling about the experience.
Now let me say. Just you move very simply. Answer to your question, you will get it. You have got tangled up in concepts. See, just as this is brass, even when it is appearing as a candlestick. Look at the language which I am using. Brass appears as candlestick. It's a dualistic language. Brass and candlestick. And yet they are not equally real. There is a difference between the two. The candlestick is a dependent reality and the brass is the independent reality in this case. Are you with me? Exactly in the same way, Dvaita is the dependent reality, Advaita is the independent reality. It is Advaita which appears as Dvaita and enables you to say such things as Advaita is real, I am experiencing Dvaita universe, but the underlying reality is Advaita. All that is possible. This is dualistic talk, just like candlestick and brass is dualistic talk. Pure consciousness and a word appearing is dualistic talk, made possible because dualism or Dvaita is an appearance and can easily coexist with the reality which is Advaita. Two things are contradictory. Dualism and non-dualism are contradictory only if they are at the same level of reality. This cannot be brass and candlestick at the same time if they are two different things. Rather, brass is the only thing which appears as a candlestick. Advaita is the only reality which appears as Dvaita.
unless Advaita appears as Dvaita, there is no universe, there is nothing.
There is nothing. No, rather the other way around. Advaita is the only thing.
Yeah, that is what
Unless Advaita appears as Dvaita, there will be no one to experience it and talk about it.
Correct. That is what I am telling.
Correct. Correct. That's
Without
perfectly
the
right.
experiencer, there is no one who is saying that this is Advaita and this is what is going on. And what
Be
is
careful. No, that's not what you're saying. You're saying just the opposite.
No.
Without the experiencer is Advaita. Only cloud with the appearance of, with the dress of Dvaita, can you call yourself an experiencer? Suppose what I'm saying is, you with your eyes open, you are the seer.
Yes.
Follow this carefully. You with your eyes open, you are the seer. If you close your eyes right now, close your eyes. Can you call yourself the seer? No. But are you gone?
I'm there.
You are there. You no longer call yourself the seer.
Yes.
Exactly in the same way. It is that one non-dual consciousness, Advaita consciousness, when it appears through Maya as a body and mind and an external universe to see, it can call itself an experiencer and an experienced. When it is not there, will it disappear? No, it still remains. Before that it was Advaita. Huh?
Who knows it?
To express it, you have to have a dualistic body and mind, and Advaita expressing through dualism. What is the concept here? Is Advaita the concept or is Dvaita the concept? For the ignorant, Dvaita seems to be the reality and Advaita seems to be the concept. For the enlightened, Advaita is the reality and Dvaita is a concept. You just think. People will think, candlestick is the reality.
No.
Brass is the reality. Candlestick is Nama Rupa Vyavahara. Now, what you have to do is, you have to see yourself in the place of brass. That I am the consciousness. Appearing as body and mind as the universe, I can interact in an apparent duality and talk about duality.
If I just say I am the consciousness,
Yes.
that itself creates the duality, isn't it?
Yes.
I am the consciousness. That itself.
If you say, even if you don't say it,
even if you don't say it, then also I am there.
Yes, and so then will that be duality?
But that is not non-dual.
That is not
non-duality.
Why?
Because if somehow my mind doesn't function, or somehow I fall asleep, can we call that non-duality? And go to deep sleep?
So deep sleep is again duality.
See, how if deep sleep is duality,
Yes.
then if I am aware that I am, then how is that non-duality?
No, your question is not making sense. Deep sleep is duality because deep sleep is experienced.
But when
What I am saying is,
suppose I close my eyes right now, and I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
I'm not even thinking anything. There is nothing. But I am.
You have, yes, you are.
But that is simply because this mind is.
Is it true?
Yes. If it is
You
not.
just look at the now stop there. But look at the contradiction in your statement. You said, I just close my mind. I do not think. I'm not thinking any thoughts. I am, but that I am able to say only because only the mind is. But you just said I am not thinking any thoughts.
Yes, that is what I am telling. So if I am not thinking any thought, then I am not.
Yeah, you still are. You still
You
are.
just said it. Now you see how you completely tied yourself in knots.
Swamiji,
See, no, see, wait. You just used two statements. When I sit quietly, I do not think any thoughts. I am. How do I know that? Because of the mind. If you're not thinking thoughts, the mind is not working, and yet you say that you are. How is it possible?
That is just your observer, and it.
What is the observer?
That observer is just it cannot be what you are telling about as consciousness, as non-dual. That cannot be this, because this can express. If this can express, then it has known. If it has known, it was there. If it was there, something it was known.
Please don't block the way. Some people need to go to the restroom. Please come down here.
Alright. No, you are not expressing it clearly.
Yeah.
Do you see how you are getting tangled up in your words?
I am just saying, because those are words. If I am sitting silently, that is what I am telling about my experience. If I am sitting silently,
always, let's move. Yeah, but I'll just give you this one. See, let me. Shh, don't talk. Let me just follow through with your experience. Suppose you think I close my eyes. Are you still there?
Yes.
Something is there, right? When you stop, you close your eyes, all your sense organs, then you still will be there.
Yeah.
Suppose you stop thinking,
Yes.
no thoughts. You're still there. You're not able to say I am there. You're not even able to think I am there. But will you still be there?
Now,
Yes.
that is the thing. Now, I am there, who will say that?
Okay, you will not say it. Just as I am there, I'm not, when I close my eyes, I am not seeing, but I'm there. I'm asking, when I am not thinking, are you there or not?
Who will say that?
Forget it. You don't have to say it. You don't have to say it.
Then,
Saying it is not the point. Look at the possibility of it. In principle, you are unable to say anything because you don't think.
yes.
But then, will the existence continue or not?
But how will I know even? That is the thing.
Well,
if
how
I
will you know?
then I am the knower. Then it is Dvaita.
All right. But when you're the knower, and it is in a dualistic experience, but that knower, will it know that I existed, or did I come into existence only when I'm knowing?
That is the difference. Because once the knower is there, then everything is there. But before that, I cannot say that I was or I was not.
You cannot, wait. You cannot.
This I have to say now. But in experience, when one person who has, let's say, has gone to a state of nirvikalpa, who has no vikalpa, can they express even? They express only the sabvikalpa.
They can express only after coming back.
About what?
About what they experienced there.
But there is no experience there because there is no experiencer there.
There is no objective experience, but that consciousness in itself is experienced by itself. That's what they say. Bodhe bodhkara. We can wrap up. You think about it. It's very hot outside. Okay, let's listen to one or two questions. We will not answer the questions.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yes, what is the question?
Yeah, pardon me for my ignorance, Swamiji. In simple terms, is it correct to say the purpose of all religion, the fundamental premise of all religion is to say that the life is not a biological machine with intelligence? And then the next logical step is to then what is it? Then connect to the conscious or soul. Is the Vedanta, the crux of the Vedanta is to provide the interpretation of the conscious of the soul in a unique way by connecting with some.
I would say yes. What you are saying is what is the purpose of all religion. That is the way you put it. It is a very Vedantic way of putting it. But in a general sense, what is the purpose of all religion? Swami Vivekananda said, each soul is potentially divine, and the goal is to manifest this divinity within. That is the purpose of all religion. Not only all religion, that's the purpose of all life. Yes.
Thank you.
Not just. So what you said is a more Vedantic way of putting it.
Okay.
But
Unknowingly.
question.
Yeah, real quick. So what is Vedantic point of view on enlightenment and liberation of like animals? Is like there is a I guess some story about like Ramana Maharshi
True.
liberating his cow. But like is enlightenment for intellect and language and is it like a evolutionary thing or did it exist like 10,000 years ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
Answer to all your questions is yes. Enlightenment for animals, possible, but all of they have qualifications to it. Did it exist 10,000 years ago? Yes, all the time. See, the simple thing is, look at the question. Enlightenment for animals. What is an animal from a Vedantic point of view? There is no such thing as an animal. What you mean by an animal is an animal body. Right? It's an animal body. It's a human body. There the mind is limited by the animal body. Here the mind has more capacity because of the human brain and nervous system. So here we are able to do things which we ourselves in an animal body would not be able to do. Right?
Yeah.
So it is possible, say this kind of Vedantic analysis here. It's possible because we have human bodies and intellects which we can use right now. That's why it's possible. But the same sentient being can go through different bodies according to not only Vedanta, every Hindu, Buddhistic, Jain point of view. So different bodies and we are going through, and enlightenment is possible for us. You're asking whether it is possible for the Jivatman in an animal body. That's what you're what you're asking.
Yes, and my the other part was enlightenment and liberation. They are the same thing, or is
Same
there
thing.
like an intellect?
And if you translate into Sanskrit, it becomes very easy. Question is, whether enlightenment and liberation, are they the same thing? Enlightenment in Sanskrit would be Brahma Jnana. Liberation would be moksha. Liberation comes after enlightenment. Brahma Jnana leads to moksha. That's the answer. At that point we will conclude. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Mastu. We'll carry on. Tomorrow there will be plenty of chance for Q&A.